Yo, it's Joe and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be continuing episode 1 of Calamity, Exandria Unlimited by Critical Role. Before we get into it, I do want to say thank you so much for all the kind comments that you guys have been leaving recently. The support has been like through the roof for this, and I've gotten so many new subscribers who have been leaving so many nice comments, just viewers in general, and I kind of wanted to highlight one of them and what these kind of comments mean to me. Lady Disdain says, this just showed up in my recommended and I'm so glad it did. Watched all 3 of these reaction videos thus far and excited to see how you respond to what's coming. I love how thoughtful your response is, getting into the details of what is some incredibly dense storytelling. And I know others have told you a little bit about Brennan and Lou and Dimension 20, but I want to further reiterate how well worth the viewing they are. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to Lady Disdain and all of you other guys who have been leaving like kind words just like this and giving me recommendations and being so, welcoming as always. I have yet to have a really bad experience with people in this community, and it's fire. Love it. Love to see it. At least my viewership. And I try to put out that kind of a positive attitude, positive vibe. And I'm glad to see that at least it's paying off in the sense that a lot of my viewers, the people that watch me, you guys that are leaving these comments have been nothing but, nice, welcoming, helpful, answering questions and just being all around real wholesome, cool people. So I want to say thank you so much for that. And without further ado, let's continue to see what this bad boy's about.
Where your impossible investigation skills and also your proficiency with arcana and magical workings, most of the disenchantments you come across work in a spell casting way in which the thing that was being disenchanted was targeted. As a result, when something corrodes or is disenchanted, it tends to have a pattern in the patina that is left on it that starts at a center and moves outward, right? That like a wizard in a dispelling check will name something and break it. Now, already to disenchant a magical item, we're talking about 9th level magic. You're talking about really
Is
rare
9th
stuff,
level
even
like
in
the
Age of
highest
Arcana.
level?
This doesn't
How high
have
does that normally
pattern
go up
it.
to?
You're looking almost at like the
Because the character levels, they're 14, but I have a feeling that the spell casting levels, ability levels are different.
It would start at a center point and move out. Everything here has the same grain to it, which means that some energy came into a space and exploded or moved outwards and was able to indiscriminately disenchant a magical object.
Along with everything else.
As you look on that 31, you look and see marks on the ground of a summoning circle that has been completely eradicated.
Wow.
That something was supposed to be bound here. And the thing that was supposed to be bound so wildly and easily escaped those bounds that it erased any obvious trace of a summoning circle. You don't even think the other guys that have come in here already, you don't think Orin can see it, you don't think anyone else can see it, but you're looking and see traces. There's no recollection of what the runes even would have been, but you just see from the spacing. You're like, yep, that's a 16-point circle, that's the corners, it's oriented with the largest rune being due north. This is a summoning circle that's been erased.
Wow.
Owen, I'm betting balls to bone. This is not your standard fare.
Balls to bone. Dollars to donuts.
Betting balls to bone.
That's great. I'm using that.
This
I'm
is
stealing
not
it.
your standard fare. No.
Yes. Well, so some kind of this guy tried to call something up and get the better of him. I mean, they said he was working on, what they're all working on. He said he was trying to crack godhood.
Right. How many other people besides you and I are privy to the details of this room? You working with anybody else, sharing information? Anybody sponsoring this for you?
Well, the boys know that we're doing it, but this is the first time they've turned it on, so no one else has seen this.
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and lock this down for the next hour or so. I want a full detailed record of everything in this room. I want a catalog and I want it sent to my office, just you and me.
Go ahead, Batman. Detective mode activate.
Are you trying to keep this, like, how much are you keying Orem into how concerned you are? Do you want him to be, like, keyed into this, or are you trying to keep a little bit of a veneer up?
I'm keeping a little bit of a veneer, but I also don't want him to be careless.
Yeah. Give me a little deception check just to keep, like, was it a secret? Keep it secrets.
15.
Orem goes, you got it. We'll get a record of it. We'll send it over, and we'll scrub the copies on our end. It'll just be sitting on your desk.
So, guys, as far as, like, I know that, like, on rolls, right, for something like this, like a deception check sort of thing, that our rolls are based off of, or the results are based off of, like, our rolls, how good we are with this certain attribute, right? And I understand that the DM, which is Brennan in this scenario, is rolling his own dice and to see if it's gonna beat, if it's gonna get past it, right? Am I correct on that? If I'm correct on that, what trait is the DM using? Like, is the DM using a trait of, like, an investigation, or are they using their own charisma against this person's attempt at deception, or does it not go that deep? You get what I mean? Like, is the DM also, instead of just using a dice roll to see if his check beats it, is the DM also using some sort of an amplifier for his abilities? Like, Travis maybe for his, like, let's say Travis has, like, high charisma or something, right? And his deception is gonna be boosted by that. Is Brennan using their characters, like, charisma or whatever, to boost his score and, like, his results? I know that I worded that kind of weird, and it might be a dumb question, but no question's a dumb question, right? So I figured you guys will help me out with that. You guys have been great anyways, so let's keep that going.
Record of it. We'll send it over, and we'll scrub the copies on our end. It'll just be sitting on your desk.
I would appreciate that.
He points to the thing in your hand and says, do you want us to enter that into evidence, or?
No, let me run this by a couple of friends I have.
You hold on to it. You look back at the circle. Totally gone. There's no telling what the runes could have been. There's nothing left. You've seen a lot of people who attempted something stupid, and there's almost always a testament, something left about a body, a mistake. It's so empty. You walk away. But I'll tell you where's not empty. We transition from this place to the heights, and I think we all know exactly where we're going. We're going to the very top, the summit of Avalier.
Okay.
And as we arrive, we see the Arch Sept, home of the Septarian, the seven highest archmages of Avalier.
Oh, okay. So what are they called? Okay, it's the Arch Sept is where they are. Okay, so we got the Arch Sept is basically, I'm assuming it's like the base or the the place where they meet up at. So the home of the Septarians, which are he said 7 strongest mages?
Septarian. The 7
highest archmages. 7 highest archmages. Damn, okay.
highest archmages of Avalier. In the grand chamber, the central dome at the base of the arch sept, where outside the great staircase leads up to the halls of the Septarian, the eldest and most powerful wizards of Avalier, we see a 100-foot tall statue, a colossus, of a beautiful elven man, carved in marble, his long hair behind him, Ymir the Bold. He stands reaching up to the very heights of the dome itself, looking down at his outstretched hand. Circling above his hand, levitating some 20 feet above it, is the city of Avalier in miniature.
What the hell?
Miniature, of course, it still being some 20 feet wide and 20 feet tall. At the base of the statue of this ancient and powerful elven wizard, Ymir the Bold, whose great magic lifted the city of Avalier from its terrestrial constraints, forever sundering Toromunda into its component cities of Avalier and Cathmoira. Ymir Porco, great wizard and first of the Septarian. At the feet of Ymir Porco, who do we find, Marisha?
Oh snap, Marisha's character. Let's go. For $1, you could have seen this early and gotten these other perks too. So become a member for just $1. It's worth it.
You see a middle-aged, although you wouldn't be able to tell, elven woman, clear ivory skin, with hair that is silvery white.
Ooh.
Almost
That's
reflects
cool.
the sky around her. She has a
Hot,
long kind of collared breasted coat over top that stretches down like a gown in an emerald green that almost has its own silken sheen to it, with a kind of teal blue indigo name your color dress depending on how it hits the light underneath. In her hair
I feel
she
like blue.
has this
green is her favorite
almost
color.
like a sun ray
Because this is the
fascinator made
second
of
character
gold,
that I've
where
seen
pieces
anyways.
of her hair are
where the
falling
main
through
color
it,
is
and around
green.
her
We
neck
got Keyleth and now
is
this person.
a rigid
She likes her
golden
greens
ring.
and blues.
If you look closely at it, it has tiny blue crystals, almost like tiny Swarovskis, that are broomstone, and it lightly levitates and rotates and spins around her at all time, as well
That's
as a glowing orb that is her focus, that also just kind of hovers, almost celestial, planetary in nature. She looks as if the outfit was made for her this morning, because it probably was.
Damn. She got it
Her
like
makeup
that,
is
huh?
impeccable. She is the most put together woman you have ever seen in your life. And she looks up and she just goes, "Happy replenishing, grandfather."
Oh.
The massive statue of your grandfather smiles knowingly, his gaze eternally fixed upon the city that he raised into the sky. The very top of the staircase, spiraling around the dome, a wall, seamless, changes and swirls with magic energy as a door appears. Paisha, you're here to meet Loris of the Weaver's Mask, a member of the Ring of Gold. Those 14 wizards, apprentices of the Septarian, who command respect second only to the 7 archmages that rule the city itself. Loris of the Weaver's Mask commands respect and status by virtue of being an apprentice to one of these archmages. And you've come here to meet him on the day of the replenishing here in the Archsept, one of the few people who even is allowed to walk within this place. This is a magocratic society. This is not open to the public, but you are not the public. As Keeper of Scrolls, you find yourself welcome here. But of course, not every Keeper of the Scrolls has been. No. That position has an extra meaning in subtle and clever hands. The door opens, Loris steps out, and is accompanied by a second figure. And I'm going to need to know your reaction when you see the gleaming visage of Eldamir the Wise, one of the 7 of the Septarian, one of the true 7, steps out and begins to
What does he mean by true 7? Aren't they all 7? Am I misunderstanding something there?
Of the true 7 steps out.
What's his name again?
The Wise.
Eldamir. Eldamir the Wise. Septarian.
Is one of the 7 of the Septarian, one of the true 7, steps out and begins to descend the staircase.
She has all of the cool. She does not show it on her face. In the back of her head, there's a little twinge of her wondering, what is he doing here? But she would never show it on her face except for maybe the ever slight tilt of an eyebrow.
Loris, the apprentice who walks here, Loris of the Weaver's Mask is a beautiful raven-haired elven man who wears a partial mask over his face. His cloak is of red and green and gold and purple, carved many bright colors, and as his hands move through space, you can almost always see strings trailing from them, fading translucently into magic.
Strings? Golden strings, maybe? Let's keep going. I'm thinking about what we've seen in season 2 of the TV show for The Legend of Vox Machina. That's what I'm thinking of right now.
Through space, you can almost always see strings trailing from them, fading translucently into magic. The arcane power commanded by Loris is overshadowed by almost no one, with the exception of Eldamir the Wise. Eldamir has sat on the council since the beginning of Avalier. It is rare to see an ancient elf, but you see, slightly bowed with age, wearing a shimmering golden cloak that appears to offer little glimmering crystals of golden light that shimmer in geometric shapes and turn into motes and float away. A face illuminated by its own wisdom and counsel. The eyes of Eldamir are soft and smiling, and he leans upon a wooden staff that he has wielded for centuries.
Your Eminence.
Keeper, it is a pleasure to meet you here in this place.
The pleasure is mine. What do I owe the pleasure?
You see, Loris says, the great Archmage Eldamir the Wise wished to meet you face to face, my good friend. You see, Eldamir says,
I did wish to meet you face to face. I was told, word reached my ear, high up though I am, I still see much. that the record has been set that the librarium incantatum, under its current keeper of scrolls, has bested the previous record for magical knowledge gained in a single venture.
I forget how it's pronounced.
And I asked to whom the young Archmage Porco had wrested this title, and I was informed she had wrested it from herself, who had set the previous record.
Well, never mind. Okay.
It is quite an honor to hear that my exploits have reached your ears.
Fire. Just breaking records. Breaking our own record.
Of course. I wished only to see you. How do you... Oh! I didn't think of where we would meet. Your grandfather and me.
Brennan is doing such a good job with like this voice and switching between the characters. Yeah, he's doing a good job with this character. He's older but wise. Ever seen Kung Fu Panda? I'm getting like Master Oogway vibes from this dude. Been around for long as shit. Knows damn near everything when it comes to his craft and his ways and the ways of his people. And might not be in his prime, but his wisdom makes up for it. That's the type of vibe that I'm getting. And Brennan is doing a great job.
Yes.
Hey, when I was a young lad, I saw him and thought, there is wizardry itself. The sheer brilliance, the sight, the vision. To go to the druids of old Toromunda, those old Gaudrashari, and to say to them, well, listen here, you might be able to turn into a bear, but so what? I was going to take the city to the sky, and he wrestled with them. He did, and they said, "You're not going to split the city in half." And he said, "There's more brimstone." Did you know that the veins of brimstone?
Bro, he does such a good job. So he's talking about how like back in the day they were like, man, you ain't nothing. And he's like, listen, y'all might be able to turn into bears, but I'm gonna lift this city off the ground. And as he's telling the story, he's talking about broomstones, and then he just, as it's stereotypical of like people who are older, when they're rambling off on one story and they find something to go on a tangent on, they're gonna go on a tangent. Brings up broomstones. He's gonna, he was going on that story, and he's like, oh, did you know, by the way, broomstones, the veins, and he's just going about that now, totally disregarding the initial story. I'm assuming that's where that's going to go.
There's more brimstone. Did you know that the veins of
it happens just like that too.
Set into the sculpture are perfect to the millimeter, with the veins of brimstone in the base of the city itself. It is a perfect replica.
You know, I did, but I never tire of hearing of it or your stories.
I'm sure that I repeat myself. Here's a story you won't have heard, and I'll tell this, and it's
Bro,
a little...
I'm telling you, he does this so well.
All the time.
Well, they...
Are you
Yeah, he's killing it right
sit
now.
Down?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
No, quite all right. Hold on. There it is. Oh, well.
Did he just hit himself with something?
All I wish to say was... Oh, your grandfather, Emir the Bull.
Nah, he's killing it. He's killing it.
And the original artist... The original artist, he was going to be lifting the city aloft, and in the structure that he made, they had a small miniature version. This was centuries ago. And they had a small miniature version, and they lifted it up, and they said, well, put it in the dome. And he said, so what? Everyone standing on the floor is going to see the bottom of my chin looking up at the city up here. It's the most unflattering angle I've ever heard of. He said, the city should be down here so that people on the ground can see my face.
Bro, this is on the spot? He's fantastic.
After all, it's all perspective.
Perspective is exactly the word. Loris, you would be so kind as to speak to the Keeper of Scrolls, there are some matters of perspective, and I'm very interested to know what, on this, the eve of the replenishment, what you see as the future of Avali. How does the day strike you, my lady?
Oh, goodness, that is quite the question, but I believe deeply in me and my fellow compatriots and our dreams of Avalier and continuing to set the reputation of the forefront of the Age of Arcanum. We will always be first and foremost. That is my goal and destiny.
Destiny.
Yes.
A single golden tear collects at the corner of his eye. He says,
Aw.
We live in an age where we now know that we may write our own destiny.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, brother.
Loris, talk to her about what we, talk to her.
and you see, he says,
Happy replenishing to you, Keeper of Scrolls.
Your Eminence.
he vanishes from this place.
What a nice young
Loris
man.
turns to you.
Not young, but what a nice man.
Sorry for the surprise.
What?
Loris turns to you.
Oh.
Sorry for the surprise.
I'm never surprised.
That's right, girl. You tell me.
It's this uncanny resolve you possess that means that we have some conversations to hold. My counterpart, the other apprentice of Eldamir the Wise, Volusia of the Heart's Emblem. Eldamir the Wise, Volusia of the other apprentice of Eldamir the Wise, Volusia.
Volusia of the Heart Emblem? Apprentice of Eldamir.
Of the Heart's Emblem.
Volusia?
You see, he leans in and says, Volusia. Volusia has announced her intention to retire,
Ooh.
and an apprentice's seat will be opening in the Ring of Gold.
That's all you, Patia, Patia.
In the Ring of Gold.
That is correct. She has announced her intention to return to Kael Morro in Marquette. There to... I couldn't tell you.
Why would she want to go to Marquette?
She has grown weary of the sky, she says, and wishes for the company of other elves. She... I don't know. Wants to build a tower. Perhaps she's tired of being a medium fish.
Well, not sure what good it is to be a larger fish in a puddle.
Ooh, what a bar.
That's because I'm talking to a shark.
Yes.
I'm mentioning this to you, and I'll let your imagination do the rest, but there are concerns that Eldamir the Wise has, and they are very real concerns. The amelioration of these concerns would be of the utmost...
Nah, bro. No way. I'm looking that up right now. There's no way that's a word. I just looked it up. It's a word. What? It is the act of improving something, basically, or wanting to improve, do better, stuff like that. Make progress, I guess. So he has the intentions to make better, or bring to. I don't know how that kind of works with this context, but that's what it means.
That Eldamir the Wise has, and they are very real concerns. The amelioration of these concerns would be of the utmost comfort to my mentor and master. We have word that Aor may be preparing an attack on Lathras. You would know Lathris is one of the smaller flying cities.
Oh shit, there's another flying city? Okay.
You know, they're drumming up the usual something or other about war. Our understanding at the moment is that it's to test something. There's no actual threat that Lathris poses. It's It's a dry run.
It's a
of
test.
something that they might intend to use elsewhere.
Yeah, okay.
The time has come for us to
Not if that vision
make
has anything to say
good
about it.
on the scurrying that I know this, what do you all call it? The ring of brass?
Yes.
You see, if you have something up your sleeve, Pasha.
Patient. It is patient.
Two other small things. I know you have a busy day, and this will be the last time we're able to speak.
No, this is clearly of the utmost importance.
Obviously, that is incredibly private. You share that only at your utmost discretion.
It will join the other secrets up my sleeve.
Very well. Then I look forward to what you may accomplish in the days to come. Two other minor things. We've had to shut down the Hall of Prophecy, so I'm not sure if the Guildmaster Nidus had anything planned there, but the Hall of Prophecy is this is just a little...
Why?
There's an
The oracles
investigation
require
going
rest.
on.
There are some issues with the return to Dominus. I believe that they may have just been exhausted. There's been some tremendous output from there recently.
And they couldn't take a rest in one day's time?
It's possible that they will be able to reopen following tomorrow's great replenishment. Perhaps during the festival of the replenishment, while we are terrestrial, we may be able to reopen it. But I will let you know as soon as we have some more information.
I certainly hope so.
Also, it has come to the attention of Eldamir the Wise that some artifacts from Vasselheim may have made their way aboard the city.
Ooh.
There's a site warden, I believe Guardian of the Seventh. The site warden, you see he pulls something up in his own spell book. The site
Guardian
warden
of the
Negrup.
Seventh?
I believe this is someone with whom you have some fair share of business.
Site warden. Yes.
So, oh yeah, is that Travis? That's a great question.
Yes.
That's right.
You see, he says, it's come to the attention of Eldamir the Wise that there may have been some attempts by this Archmage Chloris to recreate some vestigial, an attempt to recreate the matron's ritual.
First time ever, Pasha shows a little bit of her inner thoughts and just gives like the slightest hint of an eye roll.
Does divinity and the ascension thereupon cause you some disdain, Keeper?
It just feels like such a hollow title, especially compared to the wonders and the powers that we possess as mere mortals.
I mean, listen. I know you high level, Pasha. I know you alright. I know you walk around like you the ish, okay? But I feel like we're talking about somebody or something that is way stronger than any of y'all. That's what I'm guessing, right? That's what I'm guessing.
You see underneath the towering statue of your grandfather, himself immortal, your words ring throughout the dome. Loris raises an eyebrow and says, I admire your, for lack of a better term, team spirit. Eldamir the Wise, is concerned with the wielding of such dangerous magics.
As you
and
should be.
if you are able to collect any reports from the Guardian of the Seventh, it has been voiced by the Archmage Eldamir that those transmissions not be referred to the normal chain of command. The
confidential.
Magisterium does not need to be alerted
Confidential.
as to the Site Warden's findings. If
Absolutely.
you
That's an
might
investigation right there.
do the Archmage the favor of reporting those findings directly to me, that would be highly beneficial.
Oh, what? And then he's gonna
Directly to you.
let. Okay.
Well, I shall speak to the Octothurge. Run it up the chain, as they say.
You see, he says, of course, these findings should be released to the Octothurge immediately.
Well, I can see your reticence. But for me, my concern is how this information even fell into the hands of this one Mage Chloris.
Well, those
Understandable.
questions deserve answers.
Absolutely.
Terrestrial mages coming into power. Obviously, the odds that he was in any way, shape, or form successful are slim. But it's dangerous magic to tangle with, and it's the responsibility of this council to see that Exandria is kept safe from any such meddling. A formal report should, of course, be made to the Octothurge, but I understand that those take some time to compile. So if informally you wished to communicate any findings of the site wardens directly to me, it would be greatly appreciated.
You have my word. We will be in touch.
Archmage Porco nods and leaves. From there, the day moves on, and I believe we take some time to wait. How much time? Sorry, Kyle. How much time do we have? Should we stop? Should we keep going?
No one is answering.
No one's
Fire.
answering.
You want to take
Well,
You control the reins.
hey,
There's
2
2
hours.
hours and 30. Great time for a break.
Let's do
hey,
Between-
hey, I'm running the show here. It's break time.
Let's do it.
Tune in after
Let's
the
do
break as
it.
we continue this Exandria Unlimited Calamity.
All right, I'm gonna end this part here as well. Perfect time. I was just about to stop soon, anyways. All right, guys, if you made it this far, please leave a like. Maybe consider subscribing if you've been watching some of these consecutively. Other than that, I'm gonna get into my thoughts. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Here we go. This was a fun episode. Let's hit the notes up, shall we? Let's hit the notes. All right, so for this episode, we've been introduced to the final character of our cast here, Patia, which is Marisha's character, who is a wizard and the keeper of the Septarians. She doesn't appear to be one, but she carries herself like she's one of the big boys without being the big boys, but it's clear that she has aspirations to be one of them. And she thinks very highly of herself and what the other Septarians can do. But I don't know if her thoughts of the matron's abilities or gifts or position as a deity are fairly accurate. I feel like she underestimates the matron, at least from what I've been able to see in season 2. The matron is like a god. So, yeah. I don't know if she's all that strong. She's strong, obviously, level 14, right? But I don't know if she's that strong. I guess we're gonna see. But we learned about the Arch Sept, which is the home of the Septarians, which are the 7 highest archmages, right? Took notes on that. And Amir the Bold was the wizard who lifted Avalier to basically levitate forever. And Amir is also Patia's grandfather, which is interesting. So I understand why she has this air of, I don't know, this sort of air of confidence about her and pride. For those of you who are anime fans, there's an anime called Dragon Ball Z. In Dragon Ball Z, there's a character, one of the main characters in the show, named Vegeta. Vegeta, for those of you who don't know, is a character who takes great pride in his people and where he comes from. He was the prince of his people, and yeah, you can't tell him a damn thing about his people. That's his people, and he's very prideful about not only his people, but because of where he comes from, he's prideful of himself, and with that pride comes arrogance, and he's just like Pasha, quick to basically talk down on anybody. And there have been multiple times in the show where he is beating the crap out of certain people in the show, and because he's so arrogant, they're like, wait a minute, before you kill me, if you let me do this thing, I'll be way stronger, and I bet you can't beat me. And Vegeta's like, bet, go ahead, do the thing. And then inevitably, when he could have taken out this planet universal threat, planetary universal threat, he lets this planetary universal threat get a leg up on everybody else and get a leg up on him and do the thing. And when they do the thing, he is vastly outmatched. And it happens a lot. Hopefully that's not something that happens to Pasha, but I feel like she's got the arrogance and the pride to allow something like that to happen. That's the vibe I'm getting from this character. And not to say that I don't like the character, because I do like the character. I think that's always a cool character to see, and like, it's interesting to see, like, you don't know where the character is gonna go, what they're gonna do, the choices they're gonna make. So I'm interested to see what happens and how they adapt to what happens in the story moving forward. What else do we have here? Eldamir the Wise. Eldamir the Wise. Brennan played that character. He acted his ass off there. The improv was beautiful. All that was off the top of the dome, you could tell. And he was having a lot of fun with it and really, really channeling that sort of like an old man type of character. He killed it. He did a great job. I was saying it while he was doing the character, but really, really good job on Brennan's part. But I get the Master Oogway vibes from this character, like I said, like super strong, super powerful, super wise. They're just not in their prime physically, but mentally, even though they kind of go off on tangents and they're a little older, when it comes to the knowledge they have and their wisdom, they're up there. They're top tier. And even though he's old, I feel like he's got some sort of like I said, Master Oogway or Gandalf type stuff, to where if he has to, get in the middle of some action, he'll be able to do his thing still. So I'm interested to hear more from him and the other Septarians, because if he's that strong and that wise, I'm sure the other ones are just as strong and wise. We found out that, I don't think I took the name of Volusia of the Heart's Emblem. They're retiring, right? So I'm pretty sure Pasha is going to go for that spot, or somebody, one of these guys are going to go for it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Pasha, since we know that she wants to, or it appears to be, so that she wants to be a Septarian, and that's the next step in the hierarchy for her, especially since Eldamir is hearing really good things about her and like really impressed by her work. I don't see why she wouldn't try to do something like that. She's very well trusted too, obviously. What's his name? I forget what his name was. Basically the guy who was just talking to her also trusts in her word and her ability to investigate stuff as far as what's going on with Travis's character, Sarret, right? Sarret, I see in my notes here, and what he's trying to do and figure out what exactly happened in this area and what happened to Vespin Chloris, right? What happened to him? We got to learn about Lathris, the other flying city, and how this other general, I don't think I put his name in the notes either, but how the other general is possibly planning an attack under the guise of just, hey, we're just trying to practice this thing. We're trying to see if this thing works. I don't buy it. Pretty sure something's going to happen, especially based on the vision that we had. But yeah, other than that, man, everybody did a fantastic job. This was a lot of fun to watch this time around. We got a lot of information, which I love. I like to get a lot of info, put it down in my notes. I'm probably going to rewatch a little bit of it just to get some of the things that I missed. But you can even put it in the comments, help each other out, talk to each other, talk to me. And yeah, like I said in the beginning, I appreciate all your guys' kind words, and keep up the support, keep up the comments. I love them. I love them every time if you've commented, you know that I like and favorite every comment that I see. I read all your comments. Unless I feel like as I'm reading it's getting into like spoiler territory, then I'll stop. But I'll still appreciate you taking the time to at least put that down and have a discussion amongst yourselves, since you guys have also, you've seen this and I'm the one who hasn't. So just be careful with how you type stuff like that. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna get on out of here. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, feel free to support in any way you can. Become a channel member if you want to see stuff like this early. And without further ado, we'll see you on the next one. So have a good morning, afternoon, or night. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Peace.